Project panning has always been something that I am so passionate about. I love, love, love project panning so much. I find it so satisfying. Just having an eyeshadow hit pan or finished is just the best feeling in the world. But if you are not new to my channel, you may know that in the past few months I have cut back, quote unquote, on some project pans. So I think I've done 4 finales now, which is crazy. It's cut back a hell of a lot of products that I'm trying to finish, hit pan, use up, all that kind of stuff. But you know what? Setting up this video has actually scared me. It's made me realize how much stuff I'm still trying to project pan and trying to finish. I have done this kind of video before quite a few times. I always try and leave it a few months in between. And I thought that this video would be quite interesting because this is after my cutbacks. So we'll see how many makeup products have I actually cut back by. I don't know if it's going to be that many. Also, disclaimer, I am pre-filming this. When this goes live, I am living it up in Seville, so I will not be able to respond to any comments. And also, because I am pre-filming this, some of the project pans may have been updated, some things may have been rolled in or rolled out, but as of the 17th of August, this is all correct. So there may be some minor changes, but nothing too major. But just before we do jump into this video, if you have not already, like and subscribe. I upload every single day here on my YouTube channel. I love bright, fun, colourful makeup looks. Today I'm wearing all 4 of my Those Eyeshadows shades. I think they look so cool. If you did not see my Those Eyeshadows update, it was an amazing update last month when you're watching this. It was technically yesterday when I'm filming this, so it's kind of crazy, all the timelines. But this is it, and I love them. I love them all. So happy with them. You're definitely going to be able to see them today. So let's jump into it. I feel like it's going to be a long one. Normally, I just like get through this video. I'm like, yeah, I'm panning this, I'm panning this, I'm panning this. But today I wanted to do it a little bit more chill. I want to actually talk about the products, how I'm feeling about them, all that kind of stuff. So as always, I'm going to go in the order that you do your face. I don't use primer, so let's jump straight in to foundation. So I'm going to talk about these 2 foundations in one. So this is the Mikillo Soft Matte Long Lasting Foundation and also the Urban Decay Hydro Maniac. So I'm actually panning both of these in my rolling project pan, which is like my main big daddy project pan on this channel. It has a lot of hit pan goals and finish goals, proper big boy stuff. But these 2 are in this project and I use these 2 together a hell of a lot. This one is slightly too dark for me and very full coverage, and this one is slightly too light for me and not very full coverage. So mixed together, they make the perfect team. I've kind of realized I don't like this on its own. I don't know, even though my skin is really, really good right now, this doesn't work for me. I have a lot of insecurities about my skin, even when it is doing very, very well like it is today. I just don't like light coverage foundations. I don't like these like everyday skin tint kind of products. I've just learned that about myself. So I definitely won't be repurchasing this when I finished it, but you can see we are a pretty long way down. So I don't think this will take too long to use up. And then this Mikillo foundation is one of my absolute favorites, to be honest. This was sent to me in PR and this is the 2nd shade. And I've actually already completely finished the 1st shade of this because I just love it. It's really, really high coverage, which is right up my street. But again, this one is just a little bit too dark for me. So I do like mixing them together. I'm pretty good with this combo. It does get a little bit boring and a little bit tiring having to mix my foundation most days, but this is really close to being done and I'm sure that I'll have this done pretty soon as well. And then we have one more foundation. I have my Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous foundation and this is in my Deck of Panning project pan. So this is fine. Like this I have kind of beef with though. It is what I'm wearing today and it does look really nice on my skin when I'm having good skin days, which is rare. Okay, it's rare, it's annoying. This cost me so much money and I just don't really like it. It's very, very thin. Like it's fine, but I wouldn't be paying £40+ for this. I am going to be finishing this pretty soon. I can't bring myself to declutter it because I just spent so much money on it. So project panning is the next best thing. I'm going to be getting this out of my collection very, very soon, I think. It's just something I definitely wouldn't repurchase. I have ones that are 1/10 of the price, literally, and they work so much better than that. So There we go. So I'm only panning one concealer, and this is the Revolution Conceal and Hydrate Concealer, and I'm actually nearly out of this, to be honest. It's not got that much left in it, and I feel like every time that I do my makeup, I'm like scraping a little bit, and that makes me very excited. I do love this concealer though. It is one of my favorites. I love a hydrating concealer. I have very, very dry skin, so any extra moisture is greatly appreciated, let me tell you that. I'm gonna be really sad when this goes. I've had a little bit of a thing with concealer recently. I've like been dwindling in my concealer numbers, and it's made me a little bit scared, not gonna lie. So I don't know. One more concealer empty. I seem to just be emptying concealers left, right, and center, and it does scare me. It really, really does. But this is the only concealer that I'm currently panning, so it's got all of my love and all of my attention right now until it is gone. So for powder, I have a pressed powder and a loose powder. So the loose powder is my Trigwell powder, and this was recommended by Make Me Up Missa, and honestly, most of the things that she recommends, I just love. Honestly, it's just so nice. I am, again, wearing this today. It's a really nice, just everyday powder. I don't really feel the need to like be creative and crazy with my powders. One powder would do me absolutely fine. I just keep going with this, and it's the same story with my Too Faced. So my Trigwell does only have, I think, a 25 use goal on it because it is still quite new. However, my Too Faced has a finished goal on it, and this is what it looks like. There is barely any left, and when you're watching this, it probably looks even more beaten up. I did recently do a rolling project pan that would have gone live at the end of August. I can't link it in the cards because I haven't filmed it yet. I'm not going to be filming it for a few weeks, which seems so strange to say. Honestly, pre-filming is like the weirdest experience, but it will have gone live when you're watching this, so definitely go and check that out and compare it to today. I keep saying it's not going to be much longer. It's not going to be much longer. I'm going to have this finished so soon, and then it just goes so slowly. But day by day, it is getting there. Very, very slowly but surely. All right, now let's talk about some cheek products. So first I have my Kiko Milano Unexpected Paradise blush, and this is the blush that I'm wearing today. It's one of my absolute favorites, and I knew I had to roll it in for the prompt blush in my deck of panning because it is neglected, and as I said, I love it. It's one of my favorites, so I really didn't want it to be neglected. It's a really, really nice kind of, I mean, can you see it today? It's almost like a bricky orangey peach shade, just so stunning, so unique, and it smells amazing. It smells like the beach and tropical coconuts and things like that. So I mean, I just absolutely love this, and this does have a usage goal on it. I'm not too sure what the usage is without checking my paper, but I just really do enjoy it, and I'm so glad that it is no longer neglected. Next, this is in my Project 10 uses. This is my Fenty Beauty Sangria Sunset and Mimosa Sunrise blush. I love mixing these together on bright sunny days because it makes the most vibrant, peachy, slightly shimmery blush, and it is just so beautiful. I have also been using these two shades with my Pan That palette as well, which I'll talk about a little bit later on, but I've just loved this. This was one of those products that I was like lusting after for the longest time, and I finally got my hands on it, and I'm definitely trying not to get this neglected in my collection. I really wanted it, and I remember how much I wanted it, and now that I have it, I've got to make sure to try and use this more. This is also in my Project 10 uses. This is my Mitchell Bronze Pod, and I love this bronzer so much. The more I use it, the more I fall in love with it. It is very, very pigmented though, so just be careful, but it's got a slight sheen to it, and that, mwah, chef's kiss. I use this on a big, big fluffy brush because, again, it's very, very easy to go overboard with this, but the subtle shimmer and sheen in a bronzer I think is absolutely gorgeous. I've had very hit and miss kind of luck with Mitchell products, but this one is a really good one, and I do really enjoy that. Another thing for Project 10 uses, oh my goodness me, I'm really realizing how many cheek products are in that project. This is my Revolution Heart of a Lioness highlighter, and the reason I rolled it into that project is because, as you can see, it's very, very pink, and I didn't really know if I liked it or not. That's something that I really love using my Project 10 uses for. If I just don't really know how to use a product, rolling it into Project 10 uses is just a really good way of getting use on it, learning how I like to use it, understanding it a little bit more, and I'm really grateful that I have rolled it into that project because I've learned a lot about this. I've learned that I do like it with more of a pinky blush blush. It's more of like a blush topper highlight kind of thing, and that is a good thumbs up because I did not know that a few weeks ago and now I do. So this was a product I had in my everyday makeup drawer. I fell in love with it and then I rolled it into my This Is Fantasy, I think. I'm doing way too many to count, but this is my Revolution Contour Chocolate Contour Palette, and I love this. This is such a pigmented bronzer. If you're into more like subtle buildable bronzers, do not buy this, but if you're into more like pigmented bronzers, this is the one for you. The highlight is a little bit dense. It's not the most pigmented thing in the world. It's not gonna, you know, have you seen from space, but I just really like this palette for the price. It is so affordable and it is really, really nice quality. So I knew that I wanted to get more use on this, so I rolled it into a project because of course that is the best way to get use on your makeup. And I think these are the last cheap products. These are my Pan That Face Palette products, and I did just film the update for this project, and I'm so unbelievably excited about these products. So this is the Spice of Life palette, and as you can see, I have finished the bronzer in here, and this pan isn't technically a pan. I did just gouge my nail into it, but I've been really struggling to reach for this blush, even though I really, really love it, because I live in England, and to be fair, it has been very good weather recently, but overall in the year, it's just been miserable. It's been a really, really bad year for the weather. So wearing like a bright pink red blush has just been a little bit strange. Like, I haven't really wanted to do that, even though I love this. However, we've had some really, really good days recently, so I've been really liking this. So I really want to hit pan on this properly in the next month. That is my goal. And then the Cocoa Blend, the sister palette to this. This is what this one looks like. You can see two big pans in this palette. This has definitely been my everyday blush this year. As you can see, it's a lot more subtle than the other super red blush, and you can see it's got a lot more use on it as well. And then this highlight has just been my everyday highlight this year. You can probably see I have repressed this, so it's going to be even easier to use up because it is quite thin in this pan. There's not that much product left, so I'm really going to try and use this up by the end of the year. I think we can do it. What do you think? Let me know down below. I think we've got a really, really good chance of doing this, and I'm so excited because that means there would be 2 empties in these palettes, and then when those 2 are done, I'm gonna transfer both of the blushes into one palette so that I can just like get rid of one of the packagings and then downsize my collection. So I'm really excited about that. I'm gonna continue working on the blushes and the highlight and just continue having a jolly old time. Okay, now is the crazy part. This is the eyeshadows, and I have a massive pile of eyeshadow palettes in front of me right now, and this has really made me stop and think like, oh my god, even though I've downsized my project pans, this is still bad. This is still a lot, so I'm gonna have to think about some things, I think. So this is no particular order. This is a potted eyeshadow from Lottie London. This is the shade Golden Hour, and this is in my Project 10 uses, I'm pretty sure. It is the most beautiful gold, like it just looks like molten liquid gold on the eyes. It is so stunning, but it's just something I've not been reaching for recently. I'm not really a super warm toned eyeshadow girl. I love my cool tones, I love my blues, I love my taupes, so this has just been a little bit of a struggle to reach for. And now for the actual palettes. So this is my Sheglam Chromazone palette, and currently I'm working on this shade here, this like dark taupe, and this is actually my brow shade right now, and I think this is in This Is Fantasy. My goal for this is to hit pan on it, and I've only been using it for a few days. As I said, as I'm filming this, it is the 17th, and the Fantasy updates are the 11th, so really not much use on this yet, but I'm really thinking that I can have pan on this by Fantasy. However, as I said, I'm on holiday right now, so I don't know if this is gonna have pan now I really think about it, because I'm gonna have a week of very, very minimal makeup, so I don't know, we'll see. You're gonna have to stay tuned for the 11th to see my progress on this. Next I have a single eyeshadow, and I am wearing this today. It is part of my Pan Those Eyeshadows series, and I have this just in the inner part of the crease, and I do have this as a base all over my lid as well. This is the Revolution Maxi Reloaded shade number 9, and hopefully you can see there's a little bit of disturbance in this pan, but really nothing major. This has been in my Pan Those Eyeshadows projects for 3 months, and and I've only used it twice, which is not good. I just don't tend to reach for greens that much. I don't know what it is. I love how green looks on me, especially with these like taupey shades, but just green is not something that I reach for ever, and so I think this has definitely been neglected, but I'm making an effort to reach for it this month. I'm making an effort to really try and get some love on this because it has been so neglected. Let's stick with Those Eyeshadows. Let's talk about the Subculture palette, and of course I'm wearing this shade on my eyes today. I'm wearing all of my Those Eyeshadow shades. So I rolled in this shade Fudge randomly, and I've been loving it. I've only used it once because obviously, like I said, I'm filming this on the 17th. My Those Eyeshadows hasn't even gone live when I'm filming this right now. So I'm just really, really happy with this. It's the first time I'm using it, and it has gone so beautifully with the shades that have been rolled into this project as well. And I have said before, I've really wanted to get a lot more use on this palette. This has definitely been neglected, and I don't really like that. I don't want my makeup to be neglected. I want to be able to get good use on everything that I own, and so hopefully having a new pan quite soon will make this palette look even more loved. I do of course have pan on this shade Cube and then this shade Axis, but one more is always welcome. And I actually think I'll be able to hit pan on Electric naturally, even though I really don't want to, because like I love this shade so much. And I know that there's a big difference between hitting pan and finishing a shade, but still, this is one of those shades that I'm gonna hit pan and I'm gonna panic, I think, because it's so beautiful. I love it so much. If you guys know a dupe to Electric, please let me know down below because I'm gonna start panicking quite soon. Then for Those Eyeshadows, I have my PLouise Stack Em Up Talk is Cheap palette. And this palette might make my lighting go a little bit strange, so please bear with, but I decided to roll in the shade Get Up and Grind. This was a hand-chosen shade, and I do have this on my lids today with that green, and I thought the green and this could go really, really well together. It's like an iridescent-y, greeny blue shade. I absolutely love shades like this for kind of what I'm wearing today, but also fun inner corners as well, and maybe even a fun highlight. I don't know, I think that could be really, really fun. It is the first time that I'm wearing the shade on my eyes in this project today, but just from applying it today, I've absolutely loved it. So I have no doubt that I'm going to be really, really, really excited to play with that shade even more in the future. So now let's talk about my focus palette in my Those Eyeshadows project. So right now I'm trying to hit pan on the shade Fade here. You can see there is a massive dip in this, not necessarily because of natural use, but because I do like to use this shade for frankening quite a lot. But as you can see, it's had one use in this project, and already the like frankening scrape marks are definitely less noticeable, which is what I wanted. This is my transition shade on my outer part of my crease today. It went with Fudge really, really well. I'm really excited to keep using them together, and I just love this kind of shade. This kind of taupey, cool tone shade I absolutely love. I'm definitely not a neutral lover, but if I had to pick some neutrals, it would be taupes 100%. And then sticking with this palette, I'm actually trying to finish this shade Pillow Talk. Let's move it this side. That's a little bit easier. I don't know if you're going to be able to see on camera from this far, but Pillow Talk is nearly done. It's got such little product left in here. I've repressed this a number of times, and this is in my This Is Fantasy project pan, so this might be a little bit of a spoiler for that project, but there is like nothing left in. I have like a huge, like, you know when you repress something and you have like the weird pan that's kind of like 20 different pans? Do you know what I mean? I'm hoping you can see it, but I really don't know if you can. I'm definitely going to have this done very, very, very soon. I cannot wait to have my first empty shade in this palette. I've said for quite a while I want to have this palette used and abused because it is getting old and it's definitely one of my favorites. So who knows? Maybe when this one is done, I will try and finish another one? Question mark? Maybe? I don't know. It's something that I'm definitely going to have to think about because I just want to have so much love on this palette, and I just love it. I still love it. I've loved it for an eternity. I still do. So let's talk Pan That palette. So this is my Modern Renaissance. And if you saw, well, recently for me, but probably not very recently for you, I did actually Franken this palette. So this shade is Realgar, but also mixed in with a little bit of fade, a little bit of like blue, a little bit of just like everything to try and cool it down a little bit. And I've actually been loving this as a bronzer, which is not what I made it for. I just made it for like a neutral brown shade, but I just love it as a bronzer. And I really think I'm going to be able to finish it quite soon. Definitely check back at my Pan That palette update. That would have gone live on the 1st of this month, the 1st of September, because I'm going to have so much more progress. It's probably not going to look like this. As I said, pre-filming by quite a lot. So if you want to see where this palette actually looks like, more true to time, definitely go and check out that update, because I have a feeling that I'm going to have amazing progress. And then the shade Red Ochre is actually Red Ochre and Love Letter mixed together with a few other shades as well to make it a little bit more cool toned. And I really, really like this. I was getting so burnt out with this palette. It was unbelievable. I've been panning this for nearly 2 years now. I would not recommend rolling a Pan That palette into the next year. If you've not finished a Pan That palette by 1 year, give yourself a break, because I've been barking up the wall with this. I really, really have been. It's been a lot. So hopefully I can finish these 2 shades in the coming few months. I've definitely had this like new lease of life with this palette since I've changed the shades. I'm so glad I have done that. It has given me a little bit more motivation. I'm definitely feeling a lot less stressed, a lot less burnt out. So I'm happy about that. I'm running out of room on my desk. Oh my goodness me. So another type of Pan That palette is Pan That palette in Order, and the update would have gone live for this near the end of August. But right now I'm working on this green, and I actually have this on my lower lash line today. This is one of the looks that I've done with this green. However, I think in the next few days I'm gonna have pan on this. There is a massive dip in this already, and as I said, I'm filming this on the 17th, so I've got about 10 days to hit pan on this, and I'm really gonna start focusing on this shade. I think this is gonna be my focus shade for the next few days until I hit pan on it, so that when I film my Pan That palette in Order update, I will have a pan on this, hopefully. Hopefully. You guys will know, I don't, so we'll see. And then I'm gonna move on to this shade here. This is very similar to Fudge that is rolled into my Pan Those Eyeshadows, so I'm a little bit worried about that, but we'll see how it goes. I'm not too stressed about this. This is a very like chill project. I'm not too stressed. So yeah, that is this palette. I have 3 more palettes. Like it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. Next, I recently brought back my No Pan Left Behind project pan. I did end my project level up and I decided to replace it with No Pan Left Behind just because I miss No Pan Left Behind. No Pan Left Behind is such a fun project for me. And if you don't know what No Pan Left Behind is, I take a randomized palette and I use every single shade just 1 time. That is it. No hit pan, no crazy usage goal, no finish goal. I just use the palette, and it's a really nice way of actually getting to know my collection, getting use on my collection. There's so many palettes that just have not been used. So this is the It's My Pleasure palette from Colourpop. I've had a really, really good time with this. I've used this 1 time so far, and yeah, it's unexpectedly done me very well. I'm not a purple person. I was very worried when this rolled in, but as of right now, I am loving this palette. And then also for that project pan, I do have 9 random single eyeshadows. I've not managed to use this palette just yet, but I definitely am looking forward to doing so very, very soon. I've got a really nice kind of colourful, Circo Loco-y colour story. So I'm really excited to play around with these shades, and these kind of pinky shades will go really well with It's My Pleasure too. So yeah, a definite big thumbs up there. And my final eyeshadow palette, oh my goodness me, I feel like I've been going on about eyeshadow palettes forever, and it's actually made me a bit scared because I thought I'd downsized quite a lot. I keep rolling in eyeshadow palettes to projects because it's what I love. I need to remember that other makeup does exist because I'm getting a little bit overwhelmed again. But this is the final palette I'm going to talk about today. This is the Main Squeeze, and it was rolled in to my, this is Fantasy Project pan, and you can see it is a bright red monochromatic eyeshadow palette. I don't wear all red looks very often, but hopefully when you're watching this, I've done quite a few. This is just No Pan Left Behind in my This Is Fantasy. Again, it's a pretty neglected palette in my collection. Let's take a breath and let's move on to another category of makeup that is not eyeshadow, because that was a lot. I have 3 eyeliners that I'm currently panning. I have this is Colourpop Extra Frosting, and this is in my Deck of Panning Project Pan. Next, I have the shade Crybaby, also from Colourpop, and this is more of a cool tone purple. And then finally, I have the shade Wave After Wave in the Mitchell Make a Mark liquid liner. This is a beautiful sapphire blue. I love having blue pops in looks. Today, I am wearing one of the Mitchell shades, but it's the green shade. This is definitely my favorite shade in the line. I absolutely love it, and I think it'll go really well with those taupe eyeshadows, actually. Blue and taupe is my absolute favorite color story together. I love them so much. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to do a lot of looks with those blues and taupes. And finally, we have lips. So I do have my Anastasia Vintage Lip Gloss. I don't have that with me right now. I just remembered it. It'll be in a bag somewhere. I don't know. It's definitely somewhere. Maybe it's at work. Who knows? But I have that one. I also have my Fenty Heat Gloss. This is very, very milky right now. It was clear once upon a time, but it is obviously no longer clear. This is in my Rolling Project Pan, and I'm getting through it slowly. I do have a usage goal on that. Next, I have the Revolution Pout Balm in the shade Mocha Shine, and it's a really, really nice brownie nude shade. It has a really, really strong minty taste though. If you don't like that, I'd steer clear of this. But it's one of those clicky pen products that is so popular right now, and I just love these kind of shades as well. So up my street. And this is in my Project 10 uses. Next, I have my Colourpop Lippy Stick in the shade Slacker. I'm trying to finish this in my Rolling Project Pan, so you would have had an update on this a few days ago. Right now, there's really not that much left. I'm definitely gonna have to try and use this as a cream blush, because this has been slightly neglected as well over the past few months. It's one of those products that I rolled in and then I was kind of like, oh yeah, kind of forgot about that. So hopefully over the next few days I can get some use on this. I don't know, just rolling it up now has given me that extra motivation, because there's really not much left of this, and I would love to have this done very, very soon. I have just realized I've missed out an eyeliner. I knew this would happen somewhere. This is my number 7 black pencil eyeliner. I really, really love black in the waterline. I find that it just makes my blue eyes pop quite a lot. But that being said, I feel like this is a little bit cursed, because I reached for this so much and then I rolled it into a project pan and I just haven't reached for it. So I don't know, I feel like I'm being made a joke of. But I do really love black normally in the waterline, but for some reason this month I've just not reached for it. But this is another eyeliner that is in a project pan. It has not been in my panning drawers. Maybe that's why I'm not reaching for it, because it's not where everything else is. That might be helpful if I do that, you know, who'd have thought? And finally, 2 more products. I think I've probably missed something out somewhere, but I think this is the last 2 products. So this is the Beauty Bay Tinted Lip Balm in the shade Cherry, and it is a really, really nice subtle red. It looks quite intimidating here in the tube, but it is definitely that more subtle formula, and it's been so nice for summer as well. I have been reaching for this in my Project 10 uses, and I'm really, really happy that I did actually. I was very, very nervous to try this. As I said, it looks quite intimidating, but on the lips, it's just a beautiful tint of this pinky red, and I'm a little bit scared of like true red lips, but this is kind of like a comfortable red lip, a red lip for beginners, a red lip for more toned down, you know, lovers, and I really, really like it. And then finally, this is a lip liner. This is the Colourpop BFF 3 or 2. There we go. The writing's rubbing off a little bit, but this is a really, really nice red tone, and it goes with a lot of the shades that I'm currently panning for lips as well. I've really, really enjoyed it. I have recently finished one of my favorite lip liners, so I've had to move on to a new one, and this has done me well. I'm pretty happy with this. So here we go. This is the end of this video. It's been a long one. What do you think of my cut back project pan collection? It is not cut back at all, is it really? It's really not. It's not. It's not. But just this video has made me realize that if I'd have carried on with the 4 other project pans that I had before this, I'd have even more projects, which is just crazy. I am looking at cutting back maybe my project 10 uses. So instead of having 10 products in that project, maybe I have 7 or 8, something like that. I don't know, I am still kind of looking at ways to tone down my project panning hoard, because I do want to go into my collection and use some new eyeshadow palettes and use some new exciting things, and having a massive project panning commitment, it really makes me struggle to do that. So here we go. What do you think? I know that this is like a collection in itself, which is crazy to me. I know it is a lot, but I'm getting through it slowly but surely, and who knows, maybe in a few months there will be a little bit more of a cutback as well. I don't know. Let me know what you think down below. What are you currently panning? What was your last makeup empty? Let us all know down in the comments. But this is where I'm gonna love you and leave you today, guys. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow for a brand new video. Bye bye!